Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Injustice Gods Among Us video. In this video, we talk about cards that we need to see new versions of. As you see right here, there are currently 9 versions of Batman. As far as Superman goes, there are currently 7 versions of Superman. We even have 6 versions of Wonder Woman. So who are the cards that we could actually stand to see new releases for? And I'm going to tell some of them right now. So for Aquaman, those of you that remember, Regime Aquaman was one of the first challenges back in 2013. And we got the Prime Aquaman in November 2014. So that's almost 2 years since we've actually seen a new Aquaman. Now, is Aquaman actually a good card? Hell no. The Armies of Atlantis can be an interesting card. And I'm sure the Atlantean hero can get a shitload of value, assuming Aquaman has power generation gear and the damage and health do not stack with basic damage gear. If it does, obviously you need that and you need supplemental power generation. For Regime Aquaman, we've seen a couple of changes with the Watery Grave passive. First off, the Atlantean Rage used to do really garbage damage, and they actually fixed that recently. So, Regime Aquaman can be an interesting support card because it's the only card in the game that can actually power drain Lobo and Static. So that's a pretty interesting one there. Now, Ares has been around since October 2014, and we've seen him in multiplayer challenges, and is the current multiplayer challenger. So once we actually get 3 promotions for Ares' multiplayer season, we will have an Elite 7 Ares video next Wednesday or Thursday to go up. Now, why is there a need for a new Ares? And we've been talking about Regime Ares for the longest time. This card is actually pretty cool, although it has gone under a couple of nerfs under the knife lately. More likely to the death pass. When Ares performs a God Specs National, it shocks opponents, causing them to lose the ability to block for a limited time. And as we know, the Godsmack does do pretty good damage. However, because the card is basically a squishy card, it's not really that good. Now, we're not going to talk about Banes because obviously there are 5 Banes altogether, and I don't feel that they need a new Bane, even though Arkham Origins Bane finally has a somewhat decent light attack and has a really good passive, giving all Arkham characters 1 bar power. Why is this significant? Because supposedly in patch 2.8, Arkham Knight characters also were included in the Arkham thing. So you could have Arkham Origins Bane, Arkham Knight Batman, and Arkham Harley Quinn, and that's pretty ridiculous. Especially if the level 2 move Bane Barrage connects, so that move does do really well. One card, however, I do want to see a new version of is Batgirl. We haven't seen Batgirl since July 2013, even though the challenge has been redone twice, and we've only actually done it once, even though this is what you see here. So Batgirl, we have 3 promotions where we've done the challenge once. It has been released 3 times. The first time it was repeated was when my account got banned in February 2014 because of a Simpsons tapped out copyright claim, which I got removed. Cassandra Cain Batgirl has been out since September 2014, and the card is amazing. If you throw on her gear item, along with the Cloak of Destiny and some other stuff, you can do some crazy stuff with her. Has amazing synergy with 600 Wonder Woman as well as Killer Frost. Definitely an amazing team there. You can also use her with Harley Quinn and gain even more damage and power generation, being the animated version. Next up on the chopping block of cards that we definitely need a new version of is Black Adam. And while Kandak Black Adam to some people is disappointing, we're actually going to see how the card performs, because even if Black Adam has the same passive as the other one, if he has more improved stats, it might actually be a pretty good card, considering that the Lightning Aura, we'll use Regime as the example. Regime Black Adam, if you actually know how to use the special one, it does double damage. So say a Flying Punch does not knock out Black Adam who has 100,000 health. Well, it's going to do 200,000 damage to Superman. And is there any way to actually hit 200,000 health? Yeah, if your gear sucks. So like if you're using, say, the Gauntlets of Azrael, if you're using the 4th World Chestplate, yeah, you probably can hit 200% health with another health item. But are you going to be able to do any damage? Probably not. So we're seeing another version of Black Adam, and it's badly needed. Another card that we actually need a good update for is Catwoman. While the card is pretty fast, this day and age, the card sucks because you got guys that are running around with 1,300 damage and health, and Catwoman has like 950 damage, 850 health, and something crappy like that. Definitely not a good card because it's pretty squishy. Although you can get some use out of it, especially if you're using 600 Wonder Woman and using the Agus Wrath, which does work really well to deadly games. Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Fire can do really well too. So there are some uses for it, it's just not ones that really see good play. Another update we need since patch 2.0 is Cyborg. While he is black, and everybody loves black people, and people hate when I use the racist stuff with it, people actually love the racist videos, and the star of the show in this case is our good man, Cyborg. And of course, as we know, the passive sucks, quickly regenerates health when tag out. That's not enough. If you note the gear like WrestleMania gear, that regeneration is actually better. Cyborg's health regen is actually pretty bad. Now, can it actually see value in survivor mode? Quite possibly, assuming it works past Fight 8. If it works past Fight 8, you might actually get some value out of him through survival mode, but the card is too weak to actually be useful outside of that. Now, Darkseid is not on the list of cards that we need a new version of because, well, we just got a Darkseid, and this Darkseid is amazing. I've seen Fourth World gear slapped on him, and he's pretty hard to knock out. Kind of like with Dawn of Justice Batman, because you have to knock him out with basic attacks. And if you throw the Fourth World gear on Dawn of Justice Batman, and you lose your main damage dealer, well, you're going to have to knock him out with super moves, and sometimes it's not easy to do. In Apocalypse Darkseid's case, the Black Racer is amazing. You can life drain for 40,000 health. Yes, this is possible. You can also do a dot effect that is more powerful than the Ibis stick, and also keep in mind if you have 5250, you're going to do some ridiculous shit with the Cloak of Destiny and Black Racer dot crits. Also, you can also curse the opponent, so it's a guaranteed crit. Yeah, this card is actually pretty fun. Now, Deathstroke is on the list of cards that we actually need a new version for. The latest one, Arkham Origins Deathstroke in August 2014. While this card is definitely one of the fun ones to play with, you can use the Identity Crisis with Arkham Harley Quinn and get some unblockable level 2s. You can use the Point Blank for some pretty effective healing. And also, the only card that actually has an unblockable automatic crit on the level 1 move. So this is why this card is really dangerous. Obviously at 5250, we're at 0-168 currently. This card can get ridiculous, especially because the Prometheum Longsword, one of the best basic damage gear items in the game, is actually usable from the crit damage aspect of Deathstroke, and that's why the card is amazing. Now for Doomsday, we haven't had a new version of Doomsday since May 2014, which was either the first or second challenge after patch 2.0. Now the card is very interesting because of the evolutionary rebirth, and he can regenerate 50% of his total health and power while receiving a 10% damage increase. This is a card I've actually wanted to try out in survival mode. If Mad Scientist Bray Wyatt in WWE Immortals had a survival mode, he would be the hands down best card in the game. Now Containment Doomsday has some crappy stats like 750 damage, 650 health or something like that. Keep in mind, the Evolutionary Rebirth does give him damage that is fairly respectable, and it does take 3 times to knock him out. So if you have a way to heal up with countless deaths, like for example the LexCorp chestplate, is Containment Doomsday really a bad card in survival mode? My answer is no, because he can still do respectable damage. And that's even with a promotion. Now another card that badly needs an update is Zod. We haven't seen a new Zod since the Man of Steel movie, and that was back in early 2014. Zod was a challenge in August 2013, and let's face it, both Zods suck. 800 damage, 1,200 health. In this day and age, you have cards that have better stats in both areas. The Kryptonian battle armor was unique until Red Sun Green Lantern just made that passive total crap, because he was the only card in the game that took 20% less damage from specials and super moves. Now, that mechanic is pretty good because, say for example, a Gotham Strike from Arkham Knight Batman might not knock out Man of Steel General Zod. It doesn't knock out Red Sun Green Lantern unless they have ridiculous special 2 gear. Another card that I could see badly needs an update is Green Arrow. We have not seen a new Green Arrow since patch 2.0 in April 2014. While Green Arrow can be a fun card and the freeze can cause for some interesting stuff with the Canary's Kiss or kind of tagging in somebody, kind of like Batman synergy with Stuns. The card is kind of flat as far as stats go. At 950 damage and health, it's really not good enough this day and age. The random arrow would be even awesomer if the fire arrow or the poison arrow actually did more damage, because I think it's really weak in its current state. The freeze mechanic is really cool because you can synergize it with the electric arrow. You can also use the Raphael Girl Scimitar to gain power drains with the random effects. So I think with a little more stats we could do that. Now Green Lantern obviously is not on the list because we recently got one. As you guys know, Red Lantern Hal Jordan. This card, in my opinion, deserves special attention because of the nerfs that it went through. In patch 2.6, when he came out, I believe it was, the problem with Red Lantern Hal Jordan was not the fact that he didn't regen health. People found a way to actually use John Stewart Green Lantern so he couldn't be knocked out. So what you could actually do with Red Lantern Hal Jordan is you could throw on all 3 of the 4th world gear items, and because he was invulnerable from John Stewart Green Lantern, you couldn't actually knock him out until you did like 80 super moves or something ridiculous, and I kid you not. The reason that Red Lantern Hal Jordan went under this nerf is because it made the game way too easy. You could beat Fight 16 in survival without even breaking a sweat, and some other crazy stuff. So if you got John Stewart Green Lantern and somebody like Batman that actually gave you more damage, you basically won the game every time. There was no counter to that. Now, we recently got a Arkham Knight Harley Quinn. We badly needed a Harley Quinn because, let's face it, one of the most popular villains, along with the Joker, badly needed a card, and Arkham Knight Harley Quinn is an extremely fun card. Because of her passive, when the enemy tags in, Harley may perform a surprise attack if she is tagged out. If the Joker is knocked out on Harley's team, she gains full power. Now, keep in mind, with synergy with animated Harley Quinn, you can even throw in Insurgency Joker and Arkham Origins Joker. And yeah, you can basically get full power twice. Now, where this doesn't really come into play is the Killing Joke Joker automatically gives this effect to the team. So you can't really use the Killing Joke Joker with Arkham Knight Harley Quinn. That's not good enough. Hawk Girl has not been seen since July 2015, as we did just recently get a Regime Hawk Girl, and Hawk Girl's passive actually got a change for the better. Hawk Girl still had the tag synergy, which worked amazingly well with cards like Cassandra, Cain, Batgirl. It can also work when you have a lot of stun on your gear, like, for example, Batman's new gear item is 40% stun. If Hawk Girl switches in or out, the enemy is snared and cannot switch for 8 seconds. So, if you have a bunch of stun on tagging mechanics, say Hawk Girl has the Cloak of Destiny, Batman has the new Batman gear item, not only are you going to be able to stun the opponent quite a bit, and basic attacks do 100% more basic damage when the opponent is snared. So if, for example, 8 seconds you do 100% more basic damage, which encourages Hawk Girl to actually have more basic damage. Well, if you throw the Cloak of Destiny on Hawk Girl, now the basic attacks can do upwards of 15 to 17,000 damage. And Regime Hawk Girl has a passive where disables the opponent's special attacks for 5 seconds, and if she gets special 2, or 200%, it'll become a critical hit, assuming it doesn't get blocked. So that is a pretty cool synergy as well. The Hawk Girls do work pretty well together, but in this day and age, cards like Dawn of Justice, Superman, Dawn of Justice, Batman, Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman, Arkham Knight, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Blackest Night, and other cards just do way more stuff. Now, Regime Killer Frost is actually an interesting card because until they introduced the 4th world gear, this was pretty much seen on every Magnet team because of the healing effect reduction by 90%. If you used Healing 1 on Shazam, he'd heal for over 20,000 health. And yeah, you basically just stalled out the game and won by that. Especially if you threw Killer Frost on with the power generation reduction. Now, upon special attack activation, opponent's power generation and speed are reduced by 50%. Why this is bullshit is because it actually works on the coldest ice with Killer Frost as well, so it basically gives you the same effect. So that combination was really good. Do we actually need a new Killer Frost? In my opinion, yes we do, because it has been a couple years since we've seen a Killer Frost, and it's been shortly after patch 2.0 for that. Lex Luthor is definitely a card we need a new update for because we have not seen a new Lex Luthor since patch 2.0. And while in my opinion all of the Lex Luthor cards are really good in support roles because all 3 of them have power drains, the health stacks really well with Doomsday, it works really well with Containment Doomsday, and the LexCorp gear works really well on Lex Luthor because not only can you drain power, if the opponent has a power drain, you can actually use that to your advantage, get off power drain, and also get up to a coordinates receipt. All of the Lex Luthor cards, in my opinion, are good in support roles, especially when you use it with Doomsday. You can even use it with Regime Black Adam and give him some crazy shield damage. Yeah, Lex Luthors, in my opinion, are good enough, even though you're not going to see them on like Magnet teams in multiplayer. The Lex Luthors can be a fun card. It's probably not going to win you the game in Survivor mode, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Now, Lobo did just recently get a new update, but unfortunately Bounty Hunter Lobo fell under the garbage dump department because, well, he's a soft health card, and yes, he does do decent damage, The problem is, of course, if moves get blocked, it's just not good enough. 6,237, or 5,670, 11,340, and the main man. This card obviously falls flat because of new guys like Blackest Night, Martian Manhunter, Arkham Knight, Batman, and the other ones that I talked about just make Bounty Hunter Lobo seem like a whip. Now, Blackest Night, Martian Manhunter did get a nerf because the life drain actually is 50% for yourself now, and it's 100% if you use basic attacks or if the opponent is using them. For some reason, the opponent still gets that cheesy effect, and we don't. But Blackest Night Martian Manhunter is still probably in the top 5 best cards in the game just because of his utility use and the difficulty to actually knock him out. And the fact that the Ibisix still works with dots to heal, it's still an extremely good card. Another card that could see a huge new card coming up soon is Nightwing. We haven't seen a new Nightwing since patch 2.0, and while you can get this card to actually do some pretty good stuff, assuming you either have the LexCorp set, you have power generation along with basic damage, which is extremely hard to get, you can actually do some pretty good stuff. However, thanks to MetaHuman the Flash, New 52 Nightwing does take a back seat because we know how good that card can be. Now, Raven hasn't seen a new card since October 2014 when we got this version of Raven, which in my opinion is the best card in Survivor mode. Why is Raven the best card in Survivor? Because she's the only card that can actually swap health with the opponent. And even without promotions, Raven is still the best card in Survival. It'll get you all the way to fights 11, 12, 13, and 14. If you don't have Raven, you need to open up challenge booster packs and get her. While she is a tankish card, keep in mind she does have a 2-hit combo ender. So in the late game, what you can do, especially because they actually buffed the 4th world set for Raven, what you can actually do is throw on this combination in the later fights, and you can basically just stall out the game and have your partners use special moves and do basic damage for crazy amounts. Now, why this is significant is that the 2-piece actually restores health with KO. You could also change it up and go with the LexCorp route, which could actually work better because now your specials can actually do dot damage, and since Raven has that synergy with 600 Wonder Woman and animated Harley Quinn, you can basically get 50% power generation with Raven, use Raven as a main character, and just burn people away and win the game. And once you have an Elite 7 Raven, you're talking about 80-something thousand health, augmented probably over 100,000 health. And yeah, really solid card. In my opinion, the best one in Survival, even with all the new cards. Now, Reverse Flash was a new card that was added along with MetaHuman the Flash. You can get him out of most wanted packs. There's also been 2 multiplayer seasons for Reverse Flash, which is why I haven't given a shit about actually getting him. But the Flash, we've seen a couple new cards for, and it's about damn time. Reverse Flash can be easily countered if you start using special attacks on him. Also keep in mind the area damage from the League of Assassins Adept Knights can trigger the cellular regeneration. So if you have Reverse Flash beat down and the cellular regeneration triggers, you get a full heal. Now, of course, with the 4th world gear, Reverse Flash can become super annoying to deal with. And another card that we badly need an update for is Scorpion. While we have seen a new Mortal Kombat X Scorpion in May 2015, and for a time until the augments actually became a thing in patch 2.6 or 2.7, I think is when they actually fixed the crit chance and crit damage. Mortal Kombat X Scorpion was the only card in the game that could actually cause the Ibis to crit. Except for, I believe Regime Hawkgirl could do it if you hit special 200% on her special too. And Arkham Origins Deathstroke could crit on his special, but not with the dot effect. So this was really significant back in the day because Mortal Kombat X Scorpion does have the most health in the game overall because of the passive giving 8% health. So I would like to see another Scorpion at some point. And of course, I'd like to see silver versions of every card. And we're going to be talking about that in a future Mortal Kombat X video. Now, Shazam is one of the few cards in the game that does not have an extra card, kind of like Static and Zatanna. Badly needs an update because this card has been out since patch 2.0. It used to be a super rare out of the gold booster packs. It used to be kind of rare out of the most wanted packs. They did have an update where you could actually get them. I finally got my first Shazam a few months ago, and well, that video did exceptionally well. So, Shazam has been a pretty solid card. Of course, we've seen Vampire Vibe get to Wave 16 using Shazam, and why is that? On Super Attack activation, Shazam deals 300% basic damage, takes 50% less damage, and may perform special attack without using any power for 12 seconds. While it is kind of hard to get up to 3 bars in multiplayer, you can obviously get there if you have the right gear. Now, the Fourth World Mace does work really well with Roar Strike because it hits like 8 or 9 times. So you're probably going to completely drain the power of anybody. Ra's al Ghul Scimitar can work really well when you're fueling up Killer Frost or Raven because that can keep the opponent dried up until you get to 3 bars. So like, for example, if you use the Fourth World Mace, the Ibis Stick, and even Dawn of Justice Superman's gear item or the Fourth World Helmet, which will actually give you the survivability not to get destroyed in 2 hits. Well, Shazam can pull off some crazy stuff in Survivor Mode too. And for a while, until the higher health cards like Blackest Night, Martian Manhunter, Arkham Knight, Batman, even Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman came into play, Shazam was one of the best cards to use alongside Killer Frost and Raven. Now, another card that could badly see an update, which we are, of course, getting, is the new Sinestro, which is going to be an interesting one. However, a card that definitely needs an update is Solomon Grundy, one of the original annoying cards. How many people went through the annoying Silver Solomon Grundy in single player and basically pulled their hair out because the opponent always had bloated stats on Solomon Grundy and it was just ridiculous. Now, people have told me I need to augment Boss Solomon Grundy and test out his base attacks. The significance of Solomon Grundy, he's one of the 2 cards that actually have damage gear with a heal component. This is one of the best special 1-move gear items in the game, and Solomon Grundy and Doomsday both get unblockable chance on basic attacks. Now, I recently got the Bone Spikes out of the Dawn of Justice gear locker, and of course, I took the 35,000 credit loss on that because, well, I needed Bone Spikes, and it is totally worth it. Now, one card that we recently got in April 2015, so the card isn't even a year old, is Static. The interesting thing about Static is he actually gains half of the power by blocking special attacks, and he's immune to power drain. So gear like the LexCorp gear item can work really well. Opponent power drains you, you just counter that with a high gear. Now, the interesting thing about the LexCorp set is you don't want to block with it. You obviously have to in some cases, and with Static, it's really encouraged since you gain power. This is one of the I win cards because of the Aftershock ability. It's really easy to get to 3 bars. If you put LexCorp gear on Static, it's insane because not only do you take 10% damage from special attacks, you can gain power and you can also deal damage over time with your special attacks. LexCorp gear works really well. The Fourth World gear is insane with Static because if you're blocking special attacks, gaining power, the Fourth World gear now heals 40% health over like 7 or 8 seconds. It's really good. I think the Fourth World gear in a way got a nerf and a buff because you can't use the Ibis Stick with it anymore, but the healing got improved a lot quicker. We're not going to talk about Supermans because that obviously, there's too many of them now as it is. There's 7 Supermans. We are going to give a little attention to the Arkham Knight. This card is actually pretty fun. He's the first card in the game to actually get a 3-hit combo ender. And as we know, 3-hit combo enders with the Ra's al Ghul's dagger is insane in multiplayer and survivor mode. The drone strike is pretty cool because it deals damage to the entire enemy team. And basically what this means, you have the Fourth World Mace with the Gotham Knight. Yeah, that's pretty fun. You might as well have Aquaman doing super moves on your team. Pretty good shit there. Now, the Joker has seen a new card in June 2015, the Arkham Origins Joker card. The card is pretty interesting because the Joker's special attacks inflict poison gas. The damage from the poison multiplies with every Arkham teammate. If you combine this gear with the Ibis Stick, the Cloak of Destiny, and the League of Assassins gear item, you can pull off some crazy shit with this guy because your dots are going to do ridiculous stuff. The League of Assassins Adept Hood, crit chance on base attack, more damage on crit attacks, basics on enemy special, or you could even just throw a lot of rot damage on there. The LexCorp helmet is really good because you add on another dot, you get more damage on crit attacks, and you have a way to survive in the late game with blocking. So you could have the Ibis Stick, the LexCorp helmet, and even the Cloak of Destiny, so your crits just do ridiculous shit. And yeah, Joker can be a solid card, especially with Arkham Origins Bane, giving them a bar of power, and Arkham Harley Quinn. However, I don't think that the Shank is that good of a level 2 move. I think kind of like the Crowbar, it's just garbage. I think Arkham Origins Joker just does way better with the level 1 move. We recently got Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman, and even recently in patch 2.7, we also got Justice League Wonder Woman, which is a really fun card, because when Wonder Woman activates a special attack with super move, Justice League teammates receive power. Superman, Batman, The Flash, Green Lantern, which is really good with Regime Green Lantern, fueling power generation. Aquaman to fuel the super move to power drain. Martian Manhunter, which can fuel Blackest Night Martian Manhunter, even Prime Martian Manhunter can power drain off nothing. Cyborg, as we know, Regime Cyborg can be insane because he can just do super moves all over the place. And of course, Wonder Woman herself benefits from it. So you can use both Wonder Woman's Dawn of Justice and Justice League. You can have Wonder Woman kind of in an offensive role. You can have Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman in a defensive role. And really, how do you deal with that team if you have Dawn of Justice Batman evading special attack? It's going to be pretty hard to do. Now, finally, Zatanna in October 2014 kind of was one of those tanky cards. However, the Deck of Fate, if you can time it, is really good because the 5 effects includes health, damage over time, a damage boost, kind of like with Harley Quinn. And if you have enough power generation, lo and behold, the Ibis Stick does a great job of that. You could also have a heal on special too. Wonder Woman's new lasso can also count in that effect if we can find it. I don't think it's upgraded, so we're going to try for it. Wonder Woman's Lariat, damage boost is special too. Power drain chance on tagging obviously doesn't matter. You can also heal up, but you can also use the cybernetic implants to heal. So you basically have another way to guarantee a heal. So you can use cybernetic implants, you can use Superman's rare gear item, and you can also use the Martian Garb. All 3 of those gear items work really well because they all have the same thing. Heal, and the Kryptonian suit gives a max health increase, the cybernetic implants give a max health increase, and the Martian Garb also follows the same rule. The Venom harness is a really interesting one because unlike the Bone Spikes or the Knife Collection, it actually gives you more health. So while you don't do as much basic damage, you also can get a higher heal. Now, the Bane Barrage obviously does benefit really well from the power drain, as does the Bitter Taste. So this gear item is really interesting for Banes. But yeah, in some cases, it's just not good enough. So the Martian Garb, we'll have to find somewhere. Here it is. So it basically does the same thing. Max health, heal self on special too. Pretty good gear item with Zatanna. You can also use the LexCorp helmet to give you more burn damage as well, and also more crit damage. So you can use this, and it actually works pretty well with Zatanna. You have a way to heal even if you don't get the card you want, so you can push for a more offensive push. It's some pretty cool stuff. I don't know how it actually works in Survivor mode, if you always get the 50% heal, or if heal suppression nerfs it, but if it does, it could be a really good card along with 600 Wonder Woman and Raven in multiplayer. So if you liked this video, talking about cards that we definitely need to see new versions of, and also talking about some of the cards that have been recently released, as well as some of the cards that we badly need new versions of, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Injustice Gods Among Us videos, my playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono. And which cards are you going to be seeing in patch 2.9? Have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!